Welcome to episode one of the Break It Down series. So this is a series where I would go over scenarios and then we'll talk about, what we know about the scenarios, what we don't know about scenarios, what can we do, possibly maybe, suggestions, questions, whatever that comes to mind about the scenario itself. So the idea here is to help us or help me practice looking at a problem and try and figure out what are the hypotheses that we can come up with and what are solutions we can put in place. Also, as I go through the scenarios, please comment below in terms of what you see, what I'm missing, and things like that. Okay, disclaimer here: the scenario presenters are not real and not based on any actual teams. Any similarity to the real world events or teams are coincidental only. The scenario presented are adapted and edited for the purpose of learning and simulation for this video. Thank you for those that have been providing the scenarios to me and then also to the coach that have been using this as part of their training. Thank you to you and allow me to use your content. Episode 1, Scenario 1 here. So Team A is doing Scrum. They have identified that their biggest challenge is the sprint review. The team feels that due to the technical nature of their product, it makes it impossible to review with stakeholders. So stakeholders are not invited. This team builds API connector, and the connector communicates exclusively with JSON. The only meaningful thing that they can show is the JSON messages. The sprint review usually takes the shape of a status update where the product owner checks off what is done. Okay, you can pause here, look at the screen, and kind of think about what you see and what you don't see. Put a comment below. So what do we know at this point? Couple of things. 1, teams doing Scrum. 2, stakeholders are not there at sprint review. 3, it is a technical team. So technical teams, the team itself feels that the work is too technical for the stakeholders. And what we know also that the stakeholders are not invited because of that thinking. All right, and that's important right here. Also, during sprint review, what is happening? Product owner checks off what is done. Okay, all right, that's what we know. What are we trying to solve here? A couple of things in here. I think for us to note, the biggest thing is stakeholders involvement. For sprint review, we would like for stakeholders to be there. The question is why? Why do we want stakeholders to be there? Well, we want feedback, right? Feedback from the stakeholders if we're going in the right direction. There's also the feeling here that the team has, which is their work is too technical. So therefore, stakeholders may not understand the work. So they're not interested in it. Okay, so we want to fix that. We want to make sure that we can possibly solve that problem. The other thing that spits out to me is the fact that product owner checks work that is done during sprint review. So that might not be true as the intention of it, right? As we know, if you're running Scrum, during sprint review, there's not the time where product owners checks things as done, because guess what? That shouldn't be the time that you've been doing it as a product owner. Product owner should be involved at every point in time. Whenever the story is done, product owner, you can check it up. So it kind of makes no sense. All right, so we got 3 things going on here. Stakeholders participation. We have a technical work. We're going to figure out how we're going to either demo the work. And then the purpose of the review, we're going to talk about that. Okay, so those are the 3 things that we're going to try and solve for. So what are the things that we don't know? So here are some of the questions in terms of what we don't know at this point. Who is the customer or the users of the API connector? What problem does the API connector solve? How does work get requested? Are works stories or tasks? How long have the team been doing Scrum? Who are the stakeholders? Are they even interested in it? Do we have the right stakeholders? What have the team not tried? How does work get into the team? Is the work produced part of a bigger delivery? What are the questions you have after seeing and reading that scenario? What comes to mind? So what are the things that we're trying to solve? One is that, let's take a look at it back again. Stakeholders participation. Do we know they're interested? First off, who are they? What are they interested in? Why are they not present? So one thing we do know is that the team did not invite them. Maybe we should ask. Maybe ask the stakeholders, are they interested in the work? Okay. Now, if the time doesn't work, maybe a different time, maybe not sprint review, maybe something else, right? And we'll talk about that in a little bit in terms of a process-wise. In terms of technical work, the team feels that the work is too technical, therefore stakeholders are not, interested in it. Who knows? Maybe they are. Give the stakeholders a chance to decide for themselves. Don't decide for them. Okay? Ask question. Also, are there better ways of showing the JSON messages? Can we mock up a UI that receives the message, right? One showing it send, one showing it receive. So we kind of see that, hey, work is being connected. Maybe not, don't know. Something to explore, right? So what other ways can we show it? Also, the impact of the work. What's the impact of it? What problem does the API connector solve? Maybe looking from that lens will help bring kind of an idea for how do we demo the work. And also sharing in terms of how valuable the work is. Maybe that's what interests the stakeholders. All right, process-wise here, number one, product owner should not be checking work that is done during sprint review. That should be done prior to that, okay? There should be no surprises for product owner during the sprint review. It shouldn't be that's the only time the product owner say, oh, which is done. Another thing that we need to think about is Scrum the right framework for this team? Maybe not, right? Maybe they are more like Kanban team. Maybe the work is more, pull and deliver. I remember working with a couple of teams where it is technical work, but some of the stakeholders were not interested in the technical work. They just couldn't understand. But there were some that are really curious about it. So maybe two different kind of demo. A sprint review where you actually show technical stuff, and then maybe a different demo just for the purpose of demoing the product only done at a later time. And maybe that's something you do, not every 2 weeks, not every sprint, but maybe every month where you collect, there's a collection of the work and you demo it. Maybe that'll work. I don't know. Those are things to explore. You don't have to be stuck to Scrum. All right, granted, if you modify Scrum, right, it is no longer Scrum. But that's okay. That doesn't matter at all here, right? What matters the most is for us to get feedback so we can deliver work, inspect, adapt, and make it happen, right? To deliver work. So there we have it. Let me know if this is of interest to you. If it is, please click like. Let me know, give a comment, whatever that might be. Or I need to adjust the way I deliver this. Thank you. Bye.